Thank you. Let me introduce Mr. Andrejs Pildegovičs, as State Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Latvia, who are highly honored to have with us today.
Dear Mr. Rector, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends, first of all, let me welcome all of you to Riga for this quite important conference. And the conference which is taking place in a very special time, very special circumstances, and I would say that without any exaggeration that this gathering is extremely timely for a number of reasons. On the one hand, this is a time of reflection. 5 years have passed since the inception of the Eastern Partnership concept. And the concept which has become one of the major elements of the pan-European neighborhood policy, a concept which has accumulated quite a mileage over the last 5 years. And of course, we are doing a kind of self-searching and trying to understand, has it been successful, hasn't been ambitious enough, has it been programmed in the right way, and I think your gathering in that respect will contribute to this. From the Latvian Foreign Ministry angle, we think that we shouldn't be self-pity, we shouldn't be of course, we shouldn't rest on our laurels, but we should not be too critical. I think in the last 5 years we have achieved a lot. And in the course of successive summits, in the course of successive programs, 6 partnership countries of Eastern Partnership, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, have accumulated quite a wealth of experience in the interaction with the European Union. And the last summit in Vilnius was a very significant milestone in evolution of this concept. On the other hand, of course, this conference takes place in a time of crisis, in Ukraine, and I will reflect briefly on this ongoing turmoil in the most populous partner country of the Eastern Partnership. And of course, this is a time also for not only for reflection, not only for crisis management, but for setting of the new goals and strategies regarding next horizon, be it Horizon 2020 for Eastern Partnership or the next level of engagement with these 6 countries. If I may say a few words, of course, on the burning issue of Ukraine. The European Union has never been engaged in a kind of geopolitical struggle for the spheres of influence in the Eastern Partnership region. We've been trying to create common space of interaction based on the same standards, on the same principles, on the very clear rules of engagement, and of course strictly based on international law. And we haven't been hiding anything from our partners, we haven't been hiding anything from our neighbors, including Russia. And we've been trying to engage all partners equally, providing opportunities for cooperation. And we've been debating all those plans in quite detail with our neighbors in the Russian Federation. So those who think that this concept has been pre-programmed somewhere without any kind of orientation or sharing of information with the partners or Russian Federation, this is just not true. And in the future, of course, we are going to discuss, to debate our plans with, first of all, with partners, but also with the big strategic partners of the European Union, including Russian Federation. And of course, now this concept is being tested in a quite profound way following the Russian illegal annexation and occupation of Crimea and the Russian intervention in internal affairs of Ukraine in the southeast of this country. And currently, of course, the priority number one for diplomats, for politicians, is to help to restore peace and stability in Ukraine, to help this country to restore order and to start reforms. Of course, those who have followed Ukraine and the Eastern Partnership closely recall Orange Revolution. We have to draw certain conclusions and lessons from failures of that previous democratization attempt. And I think in this sense, this conference will take up a very important element which is targeted on civil society, on youth, which are the most important engines for reforms, for further democratization in Ukraine and other countries of Eastern Partnership. Without consistent, solid support of youth, NGOs, civil society, most broadest elements of the society, regional leaders, of course, further progress of Ukraine and other Eastern Partnership countries will be unthinkable. We have to be very open, frank to ourselves that if we want to succeed in Ukraine, in Moldova, in Georgia, other countries, Belarus, of course, it should be a generational challenge. It should be a monumental task. We look back on our transformation 23, 25 years ago, and we recall then at that time, basically almost every municipality in Riga had some partnerships with countries in the European Union. Every university, every school had some contacts. And it started from a grassroots level, from bottom up and bottom down approach. And only that synergy, this synergetic effort, which went through more than a decade, helped our countries to transform. And these challenges are still lying ahead of us. I talked briefly that we would like to design more a kind of tailor-made approach to every country of the Eastern Partnership. Of course, we recognize that all countries are very different. With some of them, we have turned the page on the visa waiver. Moldova is a front runner in that respect. For those of us who are, and I consider myself a Cold War baby, I still recall how it used to be 23 years ago, when it was quite inconceivable to visit without visas Western capitals. I think this example of Moldova should serve as an inspiration to other countries, and we hope that we will make further steps with Georgia, Ukraine, further down the road. But countries are very different, and we, as I said before, we don't want to ostracize anyone, we don't want to limit partnership with any of the countries on specific areas, but we have to move forward, and education research is one of the most important engines of change. I mentioned that all 6 countries should be involved, and in that sense, of course, for Latvia, Belarus stands as a special case. It's a direct neighbor, and it's quite a shame that this country is not even part of the Bologna process in European common educational space. And I very much hope that through such conferences we will find ways of engagement with the people, youth, researchers in the respective communities. Of course, for Latvia, Eastern Partnership is a special subject. I would try to be polite. Our EU presidency is still a few months ahead of us, so I will not disclose every item on our agenda. But of course, Eastern Partnership will be very much on our mind during the first semester of 2015. We plan a lot of activities on the level of civil society forum, youth forum, media, free media forum, about 25 different events, conferences, seminars for regional leaders, for business, small and medium-sized business enterprises, trying to further advance on the results of the Vilnius summit last November. We don't expect, the Riga summit is expected 1 year from now, at the end of May 2015. We don't expect revolutionary, earth-breaking, earth-shaking decisions, but what is most important is job what educators are doing, researchers, teachers, professors are doing, building bricks by bricks. And we hope that if we manage to keep the EU focused on this road of partnership with Eastern Partnership 6, with tailor-made programs with specific countries, then we will fulfill our mission. I wish you a very productive, successful conference. I very much hope that we will meet again during our presidency, and I hope that the conclusions of this conference will help us to further navigate Eastern Partnership program through this time of transition. After EU Parliament elections, we are now in the process of rotations within the EU institutions, and it is not necessarily easy every time, but we hope that with your help and with the Latvian presidency, we will be able to keep EU focus on Eastern Partnership, and Eastern Partnership will be successful policy. I mentioned, of course, Russia. We will try to convey the message to Moscow that Eastern Partnership is not a zero-sum game, that we are here talking about modernization of societies, modernization of the standards, common standards in the European space. But those principles, those values are not empty shells. That those concepts are real. We are serious with our determination, and we expect that our neighbors and our partners respect those obligations. And we very much hope that Russia will come back to realization that the founding principles of UN Charter, of OSCE, Paris Charter, Helsinki principles are still the foundation of the European order in the 21st century. Thank you so much for your support to this conference, for this brainstorm in Riga and in Jurmala. I hope that the weather will cooperate and this gathering will be pleasant, stimulating, and enjoyable. Thank you.